TONYBUCK, temaboxeo at show. Bro, man. Uh, Benavides, Demetrius Andrade, Jamel Charlo versus Jose Benavides Jr. Afterthoughts. Um, you know, Andrade got stopped pretty fast. Didn't expect that, but fun card of boxing. Um, the Benavides Bros. One gets a win, the other one gets a L. Jermel Charlo comes back, gets a win. Continue to fight, stay active. Benavides gets his win and continues to be the Mexican monster. Uh, and and it's funny, a lot of YouTubers, fighters that picked Andrade thought he was gonna win. Like, never saw it coming. But if you know what Benavides was about, you know how it was gonna end. Uh, and what I'm saying, like I said, it was earlier than I thought would happen. But Benavides got the job done and ended Demetrius Andrade. Stops him for the first time. Didn't come out the corner. I'm saying taking too much punishment. This is what happens when a fighter chooses to not really fight high competition, elite competition, and then I'm saying being undefeated and then taking on a tough task like Dave Benavides. Sheesh, you know what I'm saying? Happens what happened on Andrade. Homeboy never really faced no champions. I don't think he faced one champion. So that's why I always thought Demetrius Andrade fanboys, you know what I'm saying? They just want him to get a paycheck instead of fighting the tough competition. So when he had nowhere to go, he had to face the tough competition and take a L. Even though his fans, Andrade fans, were saying he was this so skilled fighter that avoided fighter, which was not true. He would just get in toxin of on fights and either back out of them and not go through with them. So that's what Andrade was about. Uh, and y'all seen what happened to him versus Benavides. The Mexican monster beat that boy up. They had to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but it was fun while it lasted. Jose Benavides Jr., you know what I'm saying, went all 10 rounds, no 12, but I didn't see the I started pretty late on going live on the Junior versus Maul fight, and I only seen like a couple rounds from the first fight. I had to do some things, so I didn't watch the Matias fight. Only for like a round, and then started late on the live on Jose Benavides Ma fight, but we we was doing the commentary. That's all that matters. So, uh, but yeah, action, action, type fights. This is the type of fights boxing needs. Even though Showtime is ending is time boxing, but regardless, these fighters will always be crowd pleasing fighters. You know what I'm saying? The Benavides Bros for sure. Jamal Charlo as well. I don't know if you could say the same thing for Andrade because he got beat up. He didn't have no way to make the fight his fight. So we know how that goes. Like a snoozer, boring type fights because he tries to clinch and just be awkward, box more. But that wasn't the case with Benavidez. Benavidez made him fight, and you know he had to try to defend himself, Demetrius Andrade, and just got beat up for it. Because every opening and just David was steamrolling him, like just unloading combinations. Demetrius Andrade would try to come back and what I mean, try to defend himself, throwing a fury of a couple punches, combos here and there, but that wasn't enough. Like he needed to keep that up throughout the whole fight, and only got to go to the sixth round, and that was that. So amazing night of boxing. It went how I thought it would. I said um, that Jamal Charlo was gonna get the win, possibly stopping Jose Benavidez Jr., which is great. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get stopped, but he went in there and gave a fight. Jamal Charlo looked good, but he didn't look as good uh, in his comeback fight. Even though he's been out of the ring for 2.5+ years, that's gonna get him back. Filling out the 168 division. He couldn't make the 163 pounds he was supposed to make. He came in at 166, two below the super middleweight division, which we might never see him at 60 again, middleweight. But hey, uh, 68, has some has some players at 68. I don't know if Ma can hang there, since he didn't really get a smaller Benavides Jr. out of there. But like I said, Maud had his time out of the ring, 2.5 years plus out of the ring. That might have something to do with it. He had you know problems going on with his mental and all that. So I mean, we'll see in his next fight. We'll see in his next fight if if he shook that off. I'm pretty sure he'll continue you know, to come back good and get going. But he looked alright. He looked kind of sluggish to me in this fight, but he came back and did what he had to do, get a win, and that's all that pretty much matters. So Jamal Charlo's back in the winning column. I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if the if Jose Jr. getting a L is gonna affect David, but obviously we seen it didn't. But David, my bad. I meant Jose Jr. He went in there versus Marcharlo, and trying to throw combos and stuff, but I don't know. I just feel like the smaller man couldn't really hurt the bigger man. Jose coming up from like 54, looking to get a chance at the crack at the ABC middleweight champion, even though it wasn't for a title. If he were to beat him, if Jose were to beat Marcharlo, that was gonna be badass win. So I thought he didn't have no chance. I thought he was gonna get knocked out, but he went in there and tried to somewhat win. But usually in typical fashion of Jose Jr. going in there, not really, throwing as many punches. If he would have thrown more and more power punches, maybe, but he didn't do that. He just let Charlo, go in there and do his type of fight, like box and just jab, but you can't blame Jose for trying. Like Jermel Charlo has a pretty strong shotgun like jab, so you know what I'm saying he would keep him at a distance and make Jose Jr. think about going in there. So uh, you know what I mean. Even though Charlo didn't look his best at the new weight coming back after these years, who knows if he's gonna try to go down to middleweight. But most likely he'll probably stay at super middleweight. But like I've been keep saying, he didn't look his best, but he came back and got a win. That's all that really matters. From here on, you know, keep keep being active, and he might come back to his old self. But there is some sharks at 68, so he gotta pick wisely, uh, or whatever fight he can get. You know what I'm saying? His bro took a L. He got a win, but not the best fighter you could say. Benavidez Jr. Never really done anything out aside from the 140 division, so he's not really never really been champ in any other division. So um, just being an all right fighter, tough fighter, being in there with a lot of fighters, the Crawfords, the Danny Garcias, the the Charlos, just been in there with a lot of good elite fighters, and came up short. But as I thought he would, if I was thinking if Ma is good from his mental, he should have a easy time with Jose, and he did beat him comfortably. So uh, that that fight came out as I expected. I thought Ma would look a little bit more stronger and maybe possibly take Jose Jr. out of there, but he didn't. But still, he still got the win. That's all that really matters to his camp, I'm sure. And it was an there were exciting fights. Uh, can't say it wasn't. So it was the whole card was exciting. Um, And then, man, what we gonna say about the main event? The main event was way better since the bro Dave Benavidez, did work, and which is doing work. You could say, the first four rounds, you could give two to Andrade. He did all right, but it was just a matter of fact, in, of of David warming up and unloading, and and you see what happened. Andrade didn't really have a response. He would, but you could tell he didn't have the power when he came back and throw like a four punch combo. Andrade really didn't have the power to really stop David. The defense, didn't work of Andrade. The counter attack defense, which Andrade need to have for someone like Benavidez, someone that throws so many punches, someone that's so active, someone that has the stamina to keep going throughout 12. And Demetrius folded. For I feel like that's the disadvantage of not being being in there with a lot of fighters, elite fighters. You know what I'm saying? Demetrius Andrade never really got in there with the champions or the better fighters. He was always fighting subpar competition. You could say that he was avoided, but he just had an ugly style. He has an ugly style. No one's gonna wanna go in there and face a fighter that is not gonna want to exchange. Um, so it was pretty much his fault for not getting the fights he wanted, for not facing better competition and demanding the public to get those fights. He just expected the public to demand those fights without him taking quality opponents for fights. So he can only blame himself when he didn't have nowhere to go. You know, uh, and before the fight got signed with Benavidez, I seen some scared energy. I had sensed it. He had scared energy to face Dave Benavidez, and look what happened. I knew I was gonna go down. I didn't expect it to go down that quick, but I knew from like the eighth to ninth, maybe David was gonna stop him or was gonna hurt him bad. He drops him, and then the next round he stops him. But that's what I expected. I didn't expect Andrade to really give Benavidez no trouble, uh, and and that's how it happened. Benavidez did work. You know what I'm saying? Being disciplined. They say he's a weight bully, but it just his discipline keeps him at 68. And it looked like Demetrius was trying to blame Dave being um, a big guy for the division, but hey, uh, Demetrius didn't have to go up to 68. He could have stayed at 160 and try to do what he could there, but he knew David was at 168, and hey, he actually had the cojones to go up there and fight him. But then again, he wasn't gonna get better fights or better cash paydays fighting these other guys. So might as well, even if you take a L. But that's what happened. A lot of these YouTubers was saying that Andrade was gonna beat Dave Benavidez. They lost their damn minds when I would hear them say that. But I mean, hey, they're a fan of of Andrade. You can't blame them, but you could be a fan of someone and knowing what will happen. They were just wishful. They had wishful thinking of okay, Andrade might be able to pull it off, but nah, never. Like I never seen it. He never faced the competition to beat someone like David. Uh, but a lot of these YouTubers, you know what I'm saying, biased YouTubers, just because they like a fighter, okay, he's gonna win. But not like, and ever since Boo Boo was at 54, like, and he was champ, I always seen like he wasn't that good. Just because a fighter has an amazing amateur run and becomes champ, that don't make him the greatest. Like he still has to face the champs, and if the super star champs don't want to fight you, even if you're a champ, that means you're not bringing the audience as well. So remember, you just can't be a champ and expect everything to be handed to you or to be a superstar boxer. You gotta do work yourself. You gotta be known to the audience too, or have an audience, have a fan base. Um, and a lot of these fighters, they don't have a lot of these qualities to become a star, a la Andrade. You know what I mean? He just didn't have a fan base, even though being from like the East Coast, big cities close to New York, Rhode Island. He just didn't have the fan base to demand or to get the superstar fighters in there. Even though he got David, but then again, David Benavidez, he's with the smoke. He'll face anybody. He's been cleaning out the super middleweight division, but even though he got into his drama and lost his belt and all that, he can't really blame anybody but himself. But he knows he just got to keep doing what he's doing, and maybe he'll get a fight with the undisputed Canelo. Hopefully he does, because I feel like Canelo has been avoiding David in that way. But hopefully they get it going on, May or September, but I feel like Canelo will give him the fight, um, especially getting Andrade out the way. You know what I mean? A fighter that so many people, fighters, fans, have been saying that Canelo been ducking, but we seen what the same thing that David did to Andrade, Canelo was gonna do so to him, but you know what I'm saying? Andrade just he's a boring fighter. I was one of the ones been saying this that not just because they beat him up right now and stopped him. I've been saying that Canelo should fight him, but I mean we as fans we can't really demand. We can, but they're still gonna do the fighters still gonna do what they want, and if there ain't enough fans demanding the fight, then then you can't really do nothing either. But Canelo only wants to face fighters that have done, crazy things, accomplished a lot of things in boxing. And Andrade was one that had not accomplished a lot. He was only a two division champ, but won the belts vacant. He never took them for no champs, and so that's pretty much like who have you faced? Nobody. Uh, and then not wanting to face the other tough competition, just wanted to get a payday. But and then taking talking all the ish that you're the best, and you're not doing what Canelo had been doing, which is taking on the best champ after champ. You know what I'm saying? And being the superstar fighter, it don't make no sense. How are you the best, and you ain't doing the hard work that Canelo be doing? So I'm pretty sure that rubs Canelo the wrong way, and it's like, man, get out of here. I ain't gonna bless you with no M's. But Benavides' way of doing it, hey, he has been calling for the Canelo fight, but he says, I'll keep fighting whoever is in front of me next, the best option, and just wait my turn. He knows that he's young, and he has. I'm pretty sure he knows that he'll end up getting his chance, but he just got to keep working, and you just that's how you got to keep it. Now keep on facing the best, and your time will come. I'm sure he knows this, so he knows he just got to keep continuing to do that, looking ferocious, and just keep it going the way it is. Now he's stacking up his wins versus good fighters, former champions. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade, and these tough fights. So, um, man, it's gonna be looking better for David, and he's just gonna keep getting experience, man. So, I still give the edge to Canelo if David and him fight, but the longer Canelo waits, the it's gonna get tougher for him, but because David's gonna get better, but that's a fight I want to see. I've been wanting to see it. I knew David was gonna beat up Boo Boo bad and make these YouTubers look like goofies that don't know ish about boxing. Uh, actually choosing Boo Boo to do something to David, man, y'all crazy. I've been telling y'all that David was gonna do that to Andrade, but y'all didn't want to listen. Y'all really believe the hype. I never believed in the Boo Boo hype because he would back out of fights and and just didn't face. He didn't have a solid resume. And look what happened when he stepped up to the Mexican monster. Got slapped up, got beat up, and got stopped. Not want to come out of the corner because he knew what was gonna happen. He's gonna get laid up, get left laid out in the middle of the ring because they was not gonna stop with that pressure. We're just gonna keep on going, and Andrade was just gonna receive punishment, and that he did. Didn't come out of the corner for the seventh round. Stopped in the sixth, and that's how it went. But But man, Dave Benavidez is a whole another beast. He might be able to catch Canelo on the back end of his career. Well, I still gotta give the edge to Canelo, man. David is really good, and he's gonna keep improving. And he might prove me wrong, but I still give the edge to Canelo like 60-40. Um, but still entertaining fight that will give all the fans throughout the world an exciting fight that we are calling for. Um, and if not, you know what I mean. I have been hearing that Canelo might fight Munguia in May, and then possibly David in September. Which is, if he's gonna fight David in September, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Or if he were to fight David in May, that's great too. I'm sure David will take it, but um, we'll see. We'll see what goes down. But regardless, David is a feared fighter at 68, uh, and still taking on the best fighters out there and beating them, looking making it look easy. Uh, we'll see if he don't get the Canelo fight next. Maybe he'll fight Jermall Charlo, which I believe will be another stoppage win for Dave Benavidez. Cause it's just not, these fighters are moving up, and David is a true 68-pound fighter, maybe even light heavy. But as long as he can still make 68, y'all can't complain. All y'all YouTubers that be complaining, there's a bunch of fighters that suck down to make the weight, but David been 200 plus since he was like 13. So it's just his discipline self that be making 68. So y'all can hate on David all y'all want, calling him weight bully, but he's just a disciplined fighter, and y'all hate that he's beating up on y'all favorite fighters. So y'all gonna keep doing it because he's gonna keep beating your favorite fighters, and in impressive fashion, the Mexican monster way. So you know what I'm saying? El Monster Mexicano is coming to take on all challenges and beating up everybody in his way. If he can't get Canelo, hopefully he can go after Bivol or Beterbiev at light heavy and do work, which is, I'm sure, that's what he'll do. So either way, Benavidez has a great future looking for ahead of him. So and we have a lot of exciting fights, lined up. So that's that's a badass career Dave's gonna have, and you know what I'm saying, and he's gonna continue to get paid. Made around like 3 million for his purse this fight. Demetrius Andrade got like around 1.5 million, and that's not saying the back end from the pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So good thing these fighters are getting somewhat paid. But you know what I'm saying? That's why I mean, from like all these fighters wanting Canelo, because Canelo, he gets guaranteed like 40, 45 to 50 million a fight now. That's why everybody wants to fight him, because they know they're gonna end up making 5+ million facing Canelo. So, I mean, if I was a fighter close to his division, I'd be calling for Canelo fight too, since that will set you up for life, for generations. So that's why every fighter and their mom be calling Canelo out, because they know what it is. They know what the Mexicano brings. Brings in a lot of cash and a lot of eyes to the sport. Um, but he just paid his dues, and that's what happens when you pay your dues in boxing. Fight the best, and you have an audience that want to watch you. Even though a lot of Mexicanos do be hating on Canelo, but regardless, they be watching his fights, and not just Mexicanos that he has as fans, just people all over the world that be watching Canelo. So yeah, Benavidez did work. Now he's gonna have a lot of fights, intriguing fights to see who he faces next, depending if he can get a Canelo fight or if he can't. But regardless, he's gonna have people lined up to fight. Um, and this is second pay per view. Continue to probably be on pay per view, depending who he fights. But that's the way it goes since uh, hard fights means pay per view, pay per view fights. To reward these fighters which they deserve. Uh, and that's the way it should be. Fighters that are gonna give action, so can't go wrong with that. Fighters that give no action, they don't deserve to be on pay per view, and that's just what it is. But who wants to watch uh, a boring ass fight? Nobody that is not even trying to give action or present action for the fans. We don't want to see that. We want to see fights like Benavidez. So, but awesome night of fighting. We knew what the Mexican Monster was gonna bring. We seen Jermel Charlo back in action. Could he face Dave Benavidez next? That's a possibility. But where would they fight? Maybe the Zone, maybe ESPN. Rumors of Amazon Prime, and like these big companies one star showcasing boxing. We'll see, but there is a couple options out there for the PBC fighters. Even though David, I think, is without Heyman, but uh, also his promoter Samsung Low-Keys or something like that. Um, Maravilla's old promoter. So I mean, we'll see what way they go, but regardless, David will be having a line of fighters that he can fight and make some money. If he don't get the Canelo fight, a Jamal Charlo fight will make some money, pay per view worth. Uh, and I don't know what other way he can go. There's PBC does have a lot of fighters still in those divisions, 60 to 68. Um, and we'll see who David fights next. Canelo, we want the Canelo fight, but Canelo has we don't know who he's gonna fight next. It would be cool if he were to fight David, but that's just me as a fan wanting him to fight David. But we'll see if Canelo fights him, and if not, September hopefully. And if he don't fight him, then that just means Canelo scared. Like, cause I mean they've been putting in work. He been putting in work, and he should get that fight. But we'll see if Canelo gives him the fight. And regardless, if David can get that fight, I'm pretty sure he'll go after another tough fighter, a Bivol maybe type fight. You know, uh, light heavyweight. That'll be something pretty dope. If David don't get a Canelo fight, maybe he can go beat up the guy that beat up Canelo. So what I'm saying, that might get Canelo to get him to fight him. So that can always be cool. David might have that option. Um, David, his promoter, if if it makes sense, I'm pretty sure they'll go over there with the Zone, because Demetrius Bivol is with Matchroom and the Zone, so uh, they might be able to work there something out, and that's a good a good fight for the fans. someone Benavidez has sparred with. Uh, so if he can't get a Canelo fight, maybe maybe he can get a Dimitri fight. Bivol doesn't really be having options like that to get top name fighters to fight him as well. So maybe they can fight if you don't duck the smoke. If Bivol don't duck the smoke on the Mexican monster, you know what I'm saying? But funny, and all you boys that had Dave Benavidez losing, I wonder what they got to be going through it right now, cause the boy didn't win. But if us that been knowing, we knew Boo Boo wasn't what y'all fans and and YouTubers were saying that Boo Boo was. He wasn't nothing. He was never nothing. He wasn't that guy, cause he didn't have the, what would you say, the, he just didn't have, what's the word I'm looking for, the experience fighting these top fighters, especially not in these weight divisions. Like, you can't really get ready for a David. And there was a, but I mean, I get it. A lot of fighters, a lot of YouTubers that were siding with Boo Boo just because they were a fan. But a fan of what if he never really faced the top level competition? So I just never understood that. I just knew that David was with the smoke and would fight anybody, and that's why he went on with this fight. If Boo Boo was really all that he said, he didn't show it, and that's why he got stopped for the first time fighting the Mexican Monster. Because the Mexican Monster is not scared of nothing. That's gonna go in there with the smoke, the pressure, and he's gonna drown you with it. And that's what he did at Boo Boo Andrade. The avoided fighter, my ass. He couldn't avoid David's punches. That's what he couldn't do, and got his ass stopped. But I've been knowing this. I've been knowing he wasn't gonna hang with the top. Boo Boo was not gonna be able to hang with David, as we seen. That's our reason Canelo didn't go in the ring with Boo Boo. Cause who is Boo Boo? A two division champ, okay, cool, but never faced anybody of the elite. And when he did, he got stopped. That's why he wasn't facing the top of his class. And Canelo only faces fighters that, well, a lot of times, cause I mean, uh, you gotta be active. You gotta, like, we go back to the same thing. You gotta have an audience, cause if you're not known, like, you know, for what? You gotta have something for Canelo to want to get in the ring and beat you and say, "Oh, I beat this five division champ." All Boo Boo's titles came from vacant titles. He never took them from nobody. But of course, Boo Boo's fans and podcasters that push the narrative are gonna say, "Oh yeah, he was avoided by Canelo," blah blah blah. Like, but they say that about every fighter that Canelo avoids. Every They push out narratives that fight from fighters that they like, that's not getting the fight. Oh yeah, Canelo's ducking him. Canelo's ducking this fighter, and then Canelo goes in and beats him, and then they just put another guy. Oh, okay, well he's ducking this fighter. But but now they're not gonna. Now they're jumping into the Dave Benavidez bandwagon. Now they're gonna keep saying that he's ducking him, and I feel a little bit, yeah, that Canelo does need to fight David, but I don't feel like that he's ducking him, because in a way you can say yes, because David, ever since he got his belt took, Canelo should have fought him after he got his stuff in order, and okay, I didn't fight you since You got your belt taken away for your own fault, being your own fault. Now let's get it on because you're the only one that I haven't faced, and you were champion in this division. Yes, I will say that Canelo has not done that, and his way of saying like, okay, well, I'm gonna fight Mexican fighters and all this, blah blah, but he should have been fought David, since he did not take the WBC belt for him. Yes, it was David's fault, but still, you should give David that shot, being that you never took the WBC from him. And yeah, he made a mistake, but that's the way I see it, and that's why David deserves the fight with Canelo. And if Canelo does not give him the fight, yeah, it will be a duck. Now that's someone you could truly say that could be a ducking David if he weren't to fight him, since he he was the original champ, WBC champ at super middleweight, and Canelo didn't face him. They've been putting in the work. Now there's no way Canelo shouldn't face him now. So, but to say that Canelo dug someone like Boo Boo, I mean, you can't say that, since Boo Boo never really had anything to offer. Uh, and now he gets stopped. Now he's forever gonna be forgotten, because we know he's gonna go back into inactivity mode, and just be forgotten. You could say, since with that type of performance was a stoppage. You can tell he had on too much muscle. Weight training doesn't work in boxing. He had too much muscle. You know what I'm saying? He gassed, since muscle takes up too much air, too much air to breathe, to move, to be agile. It just muscle is not good for boxing to move. It just fatigues you out faster, and that's what it looked like. It did to Demetrius. Maybe he did that to fill up his frame at 168, try to be stronger, but it didn't work. Um, not not to work on somebody like Benavidez, because you see his physical. Benavidez is not the most muscular dude, and you don't need to be muscular in boxing. He don't look like the type that to be moving like the way he does, but he's just God gifted, you know, and doesn't have the the greatest body, but like I said, in boxing, you just need to be having that stamina and that work rate. Especially at super middleweight, no one has it like Dave Benavidez, and that's why he's really a monster. Because no one moves like the way he does, uh, and being like a natural super middleweight, they don't move like he does. He's just a problem for everybody. Not being Canelo though, you know what I'm saying? But he can probably still beat Canelo up, but we just gotta see that fight. Because other than that, it's Canelo and Dave Benavidez beating everybody up at 168. I've been saying this. Now until they get it on, is to see who's the real one. But as of now, the official Canelo, since he's undisputed, and we'll see. Hopefully he takes on Dave Benavidez to really see who's that guy at 68. But Canelo been making his claim ever since he got the undisputed. If they would if David is to dethrone him, then we'll see about that. But until then, it's David and Canelo. Everybody thinks they can be Canelo, so so it's like everybody wants him obviously, and he brings in the money, so it's just a win-win. He's a smaller fighter. He looks more beatable, and he brings in the money, so you get paid. But still, if you're not David, it's pretty much a L for you since David is looking like the one that could possibly uh, beat Canelo. Canelo passing the torch to David. But I don't know. I still feel that Canelo, with his counter punching ability, will beat David. But man, it's gonna be an exciting fight since David throws so many punches and has the stamina, and we'll see what Canelo's punches uh, can do to David. But David might be able to drown Canelo as well. He's looking real powerful, strong, and we'll see if he can get that Canelo fight and give us a great show, man. Like last night, you know what I mean? Action packed fight. Boo Boo tried to do his best, try to load up 4 punch, 5 punch combo, but just didn't have it. Just didn't have it, and you need to do that constantly, and it was only a burst of combos that Boo Boo would try to do, and it just looked like he didn't have that power to do anything to Benavides. Benavides would just block and come back with his own combos, uppercuts to the body. So Demetrius really didn't have anything for Benavides, and that's why it was easy work. Easy work gets the stoppage, and I wonder what they'll say next. They'll still be going against the Mexican Monster. Like I said, I'm I feel like Canelo can be be the Mexican Monster, but the more time they keep going, the better Benavides is gonna get, and the older Canelo's gonna get, and the more chances David will have to beat him. But we still have yet to see if Canelo will face him. Hopefully he does, and give us fans a show and to prove who is best. Cause both Canelo and David let's see, they already beat Caleb. David just beat Andrade. If Maul is to come up and face either Canelo or David, he's getting beat up. He's getting stopped. Just a smaller fighter coming up. Um, Morel gets stopped by both Canelo and the Mexican Monster. The Cuban ain't got nothing on the Mexicans. He gets stopped. And who else is at 68? Um, 68. Morel. And yeah, I think that's it, man. Pacheco is with Benavides camp, so ain't no way he's fighting. Um, I don't know. That's someone maybe Canelo could fight, but I don't see him fighting Pacheco as of yet. Berlanga, if he wants to work, he's been wanting to work with Canelo. Berlanga, the Borico gets stopped. He gets stopped by Benavides as well. Berlanga, Berlanga ain't no work for them. That's easy work. Um, so I don't know. I think the challenge is it's only David and Canelo to each other, and then for them, it's I still feel like Canelo needs to get a rematch with Dimitri Bivol, and a fight with Dave Benavides and Bivol is a great fight. So exciting fight. Someone that I feel like could beat Bivol. That could beat Bivol is someone for sure like Benavides. I still want to see the rematch with Canelo Bivol since Canelo, after that, he got his hand surgery. I want to see if being a healthy Canelo, if he can really beat him. If not, then David's going to have to show Canelo how it's done and beating him. I feel like David would beat someone like Bivol. Just big, the the big guy, the more active, high volume puncher. Uh, just like himself, Bivol, that would be an entertaining fight for sure. But yeah, man, there's a lot of good fights to be made. Munguia, if they say Munguia's gonna fight Canelo, that's an exciting fight versus David as well. But I see Munguia taking the L to both of them. But it's still entertaining fight, action packed fight. Because they're gonna go in there and try to take each other's head off. So those are entertaining fights. But yeah, man. Like I said, what happened? Boo Boo loses to David Benavidez. If you thought otherwise, you just don't know boxing. You just let your heart choose Boo Boo to win. But like I could see the scared energy in Boo Boo. He didn't want to take that fight. He was just had nowhere to go, and his only way to get paid was fighting David, because there was no other way he could really go, no other fights to really get. So, um, two of the fighters that David welcomes all the smoke with anybody, and Boo Boo didn't have nowhere to go. So his only road was to David. So David ain't gonna turn nothing down. So let's go. Two division champ. Let's go. I want that under my experience belt. So you know what I'm saying. That's what he did, and now he has Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade under his belt. And he's a young guy, 26-year-old. He's just gonna keep getting more experience, keep getting better, and keep getting stronger. He's just entering in his man strength as of right now. So David's gonna be some really scary fighter to get in there with. So a lot of fighters are gonna think about it getting in there with him, since he's doing what he's doing to these other top fighters. Um, but just working his way, taking on everybody in his path to try to get that big fight with Canelo. Um, so yeah, David's gonna keep on beating these fighters until he gets that Canelo fight, and go from there. Like I said, Boo Boo got beat up. Boo Boo got beat up and made all these losers, YouTubers, and fans that thought Boo Boo had a chance, man. If you don't get your looking ass out of here, thinking he had a chance versus David, nah, man. David did work, and he showed y'all that y'all don't know nothing about boxing. Because if you really knew, you knew David was gonna steamroll right through Boo Boo, as we did at temaboxeo. You know what I'm saying? The fight was not close for 9. Um, the second half didn't even start because David put an end to that. And if Boo Boo got out of the corner, he was gonna get laid out in the ring. So good job in his corner, not letting him to receive more punishment. They seen what they seen was enough, and that was that. But you know what I mean. We'll still be covering these fights, especially the top of the top. They've been Benavidez, Canelos, whoever, the Devin Haney's. We gonna react to that. Devin Haney reaches progress. That's gonna be an exciting fight. Coming up of the ending of the year. They're leaving us with that. But this one, we can't really, say nothing, because with this fight was really exciting for the fans, and I'm pretty sure it was a good year for boxing this year, 2023. We got a lot of good fights, and then hopefully 2024 we get blessed with a lot more better fights as well. So uh, until then, man, ya se lo saben. Continue to support your boy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the videos. Help us out, and trying to get to 5K subscribers. But you already know. Till next time, man. Dave Benavidez did work of Bubo Andrade. Jermel Charlo gets the win over Jose Benavidez Jr. Maybe they'll fight. We'll see. But until then, till next time, man. Shout out to y'all.